to Podcast Tuesday, as you know. I am Brandon Janeau, and this is the BrandonJaneauShow. And like always on Podcast Tuesday, is I Believe Sports. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. And like always, on all podcast platforms, you already know. BrandonJaneauShow, social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, BrandonJaneauShow, and of course, uh, YouTube channel, BrandonJaneauShow. Let's get into it, man. Like I said, today is I Believe Sports. Now, usually, I talk about all the sports that's going on and everything, but tonight I want to just focus on one thing. So let's get into it. If you have been watching I Believe Sports since I've started it in September, October, it's a damn shame. September, October, you've noticed I haven't really talked too much about the NBA. Well, that's about to change. Or is it? So, this past weekend was the All Star weekend um, for the NBA. And it was in Indiana, and for a lot of people, they would say the holy grail of basketball. Now, a lot of people would say it's New York, but Indiana take basketball super fucking serious. So the All Star game was in Indiana, and man, um, this All Star weekend sucked. I didn't really watch because I usually watch the celebrity game on Fridays, but I haven't even watched that in a couple years. Um, the rookie new the way they kind of do now the rookie challenge thing where they break off all these different rookies and let them have different teams, which is not just like they tried it with the world. It was it used to be rookie sophomore when I was a kid, then it became the U.S. versus the world. Now it's like separate, you know, team with legendary head coaches, and they just playing all types of rookies and sophomores, and they letting them play. I actually think that's a good idea. I actually like that concept. It's just nobody watches that shit. You barely know the rookies, you barely know the sophomores. You don't really watch it, so it's been a part of the weekend. But if it's not some superstar players like I remember in 2003, like the 2002 draft class versus the sophomores, that was the sophomores versus the rookie class, which was Carmelo, D Wade, and LeBron and Chris Bosh. Like it was a lot of people on that rookie class, man. And some years you watch it because you want to see how that looks. I mean, it was the rookie sophomore game was when you saw Kyrie Irving cross over Brandon Knight and just like break his fucking ankles, and everybody like, ooh, that nigga, ooh, shit. But we don't talk about that. We don't talk about Fridays. We talk about Saturdays and Sundays when it comes to the NBA, and that is the All Star Week Saturday. Pretty much like their own. The Saturday night All Star Weekend, which is the skills challenge, 3-point competition, and the slam dunk contest. And of course, the last night, Sunday night, is the All Star game. I'm to the point now with the All Star Weekend where you gotta get rid of it. Um, Most of the competitions really don't matter to the participants. Um, I'm gonna tell you what I did. Saturday, I watched the skills challenge. I haven't seen a NBA Saturday night in years. But Saturday I watched the skills challenge. I like the new concept. I thought it was really dope. Like I said, I haven't seen it in a year, so I thought it was a really dope concept. I'm like, all right, that's what's up. I like the skills challenge. I thought it was really dope. I know a lot of people was like, get rid of the skills challenge, but I like the skills challenge. I think it was a really dope thing. Um, the best highlight of the whole entire weekend, the best thing on the entire weekend was literally the 3-point contest. That's the best part of the whole weekend is the 3-point competition because they actually try. They actually want to win the fucking trophy. You have also stars that actually participate in that shit. Trey Young, who is the franchise player of Atlanta. Dame Dollar, who has been one of the greatest players of the last decade. Like, and I know people are gonna be like, no, Dame has been one of the greatest players of the last decade. Stop it. Karl Anthony Towns, who was the number one pick overall a couple years ago. Um, Tyrese Halliburton, who for the most part was probably one of the best players in Sacramento before they traded him to Indiana, and now he's the face of the Indiana Pacers. Who else was in the damn 3 point con? Jalen Bronson. Jalen Bronson, who was one of the best, who right now is taking over the New York Knicks and making the Knicks actually a prominent basketball team again. So you had people that was actually physically in that shit and actually participating that actually wanted to win the motherfucker. Donovan Mitchell, who for the most part was a franchise player in Utah, got moved to Cleveland and literally is trying to be something that Cleveland fans haven't seen since LeBron James, which is another franchise caliber player. The 3 point contest is exciting. It actually matters because people want to participate in it. And for the All Star weekend, that's what you want. You want, if you're going to do the All Star weekend, you want your stars to feel like they got to participate in that shit. The fact of the matter is, I watch like the skill challenge and I like the skill challenge. But if you watch the people that participate in the skill challenge, you're like, Anthony Edwards didn't want to be in that shit. He shot the ball left handed. He didn't want to be in that shit. Victor Wembanyama is big as fuck. And like I've been saying, he can be a veteran. He could be that guy. He can be that one day, but I don't believe he's that right now. I forgot the other number one pick they had. They had Anthony Edwards, they had Victor Wembanyama. Oh, and Pablo Beccaro, who I think is going to be a superstar in the league. And then you had the All Stars, which was Trey Young, Scotty Barnes, and Trey Young, Scotty Barnes. I forgot who was the other All Star. I want to say, oh, Tyrese Maxey. Not bad names. I mean, Scott. If you don't know Scotty Barnes in Toronto, you haven't watched him. Boy could play, man. He was a rookie of the year before. So it's Tyrese Maxey. I've been saying for the longest is the best one-two punch for Joel Embiid when Joel's healthy. And everybody knows I fuck with Trey Young, so that's my guy. And then you had the team of Indiana. I like that. I thought that was a good idea. I think like the whole city should have their three best players participate. The All Stars could have probably had a little bit more umph. They could have had maybe somebody else participate. They could have tried to get some more big names. They didn't really get any. The number one picks was it is what it is. Those are the last three number one picks. Cool. Where I think the problem is starting to lie though is the 3 point contest is cool. Skill challenge is great. The only reason why I stayed to watch the whole Saturday night is the 3 point contest because I saw who's gonna be in it. I'm like, I gotta watch this. And then I wanted to watch Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionesco go up against each other. I was like, I gotta watch this shit because I watched Sabrina in Oregon, and then I've watched her in the WNBA. One of the best one of the best 3 point shooters in the entire league. The fact that she went out there and scored 26 points, she would have been in the finals. She would have been tied with Dame Lillard to win the trophy that night. Just want to point that out. Steph Curry is the king though of threes. We get in that conversation. Where this all rises into is what you end the show with, which Reggie Miller said they should make the 3 point contest the final event, which I totally agree. Matter of fact, I'm getting to the point with a 3 point contest where it's just like, bro, just let that be the whole Saturday night. I like the skill challenge, but you don't really need it. And the dunk contest sucks. It's not even inventive anymore. That's the one thing about this, because this is the thing. Every year we watch the dunk contest now, and we go back and I go back and watch Vince Carter, and I go back and watch Michael Jordan and Dominique. I go back and watch Nate Robinson. I go back and watch Spud Webb. I go back and watch Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon in 2016, which to me was really the last dunk contest that actually was competitive and it actually made sense and it actually was creative. That was the last dunk contest. That was really actually a real dunk contest. People have been living off that high for damn near 8 years now. That was 2016. It is 2024. 8 fucking years since that dunk contest. That shit sounds crazy. I know people be like, nah, 2020 dunk contest is great. The final fucked up. Dwayne Wade literally cheated for his fucking teammate. Like, bro, that to me already erased. And I know dunk contests, some people already will pick who they pick, but no. Dwayne Wade knew exactly what the fuck he was doing. I cannot with that dunk contest. They need to get rid of the dunk contest. That There's not too many more creative ways you can dunk. Well, I saw a TikTok yesterday, a couple dudes dunking. I was like, but there's not too many creative ways you could dunk that people would like to dunk in the NBA without blowing a knee or blowing something because you've already put it in their heads. Injuries are too vital nowadays. You can't get injured like talking about it. The second reason why I get rid of the dunk contest is nobody wants to participate in it. And when they do, you see what they did Saturday night, and they just let Jalen Brown walk to the finals because he's the bigger name. It's like if you're not a good dunker, we're not putting you in the finals, my guy. But because he's a bigger name, you needed eyes on the dunk contest. You just kept him in to go to the finals. It's like, nah. There's always been this thing about who killed the dunk contest. Stephen A. Smith on First Take has been very adamant that it's been LeBron James, and I 100% agree. It's LeBron James. LeBron James kept putting people into this idea that he's gonna do it, and every year he'd go to him at the All Star game and say, "Hey, LeBron, are you gonna participate in the dunk contest next year?" And he'd be like, "You know, seeing how this is tonight, I might have to do it. I might have to do it." And then the year come, and we knew he wasn't doing it because LeBron's not a creative dunker. He's an in game dunker, and I think he knows that. That's why he's never done it. And this isn't one of those Mike versus LeBron comparisons. Mike was literally a dunker. He could create a dunk. He could do whatever the fuck he needed to do in the game. He was that dude. LeBron is not that. He knows his strengths. He knows who the fuck he is. But the fact that he kept playing like he was gonna do it is what has killed the dunk contest. Because it's not like you didn't have any all stars do the dunk contest. Dwight Howard was the face of a franchise and did like 3 dunk contests. Like, and I'm talking about like the peak of the Orlando Magic. He was literally the Orlando Magic at that time in 2008 to 2009. He was the guy, and he still chose to do the dunk contest. Now LeBron James has literally looked at everybody in the camera and said, "Oh, I'm gonna do it. Uh, I'm gonna do it. We gotta see though. We gotta see. We gotta see. We gotta see." LeBron killed the dunk contest because he made a lot of these kids feel like they don't have to participate, or the only way I participate is if I'm an all star. Like, because I'm already gonna be in the city, so let me go ahead and be an all star. So I do the dunk contest. Why not? And that to me is truly what killed the slam dunk contest. Like I said, there's been times where they've had legendary dunk contests in the last couple of years. 2009 with you know Dwight Howard and Nate Robinson. That was actually a really good dunk contest. But every so often, we get more bad dunk contests than we get actually good dunk contests. 2016 was a perfect example. Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon. That shit made sense. One of the best dunk contests I've ever seen. But also, I've learned is like because we always talk about the 2000 dunk contest with Vince Carter. We only talk about it because it's Vince Carter. If Vince Carter's not in that dunk contest is not good. I grew up with Jason Richardson being the slam dunk contest champion for a couple years, and every year Jason Richardson was in a slam dunk contest. It was one of the best slam dunk contests. We don't get that man enough credit for his slam dunk contest victories. He killed it. Nate Robinson is another one. We don't give him too much credit for his slam dunk contest. Like that motherfucker was killing shit. The 2006 slam dunk contest, oh my god, in Houston, dude killed, man. But you don't have that anymore. You don't have the competitiveness. You don't have the creativity. You ain't even trying. A lot of these dudes that's going out there now is just like nobody else wanted to participate, so I do it, and that's cool. But the problem with this is that you're now running into the problem of what is a slam dunk contest? Because you would go get a G leaguer and let him come and do the slam dunk contest. This man's not even on the active roster of the NBA, and he came and did a slam dunk contest. What the fuck message does that send to the people that want to participate? It doesn't make any sense, man. Which brings me to the All Star game. For the last 7 years, I would say, since 2016, definitely 2017, because I don't remember me watching the 2017 All Star game. I can't remember. But the All Star game has turned into this All Star game is just a reflection of what the NBA is now. That's all it is. The All Star game is just a reflection of what the NBA is. It's kind of ass backwards when you go up to a Dame Lillard or LeBron James and you ask them, how do you get this to be competitive? How do we get the All Star game to be competitive? And they look at you and they say, I don't know. The fuck you mean you don't know? Y'all just played in that shit. You don't know how to make a game competitive? And this is why I said it's just a fucking the problem with the NBA is in the All Star game. Too much fucking offense, no defense. Even in the league, it's not enough offense. I mean, it's not enough defense. There's no way in hell that people should be scoring 60 fucking points in a game. And it's not just one person, it's multiple players. Get rid of the All Star game. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. We don't need it. It doesn't change anything. This is what I would do. Personally, I don't think we need it. What I would do is tell them, listen, y'all will get the week off after the Thursday night game. Go and be with y'all families. Y'all don't have to participate. Wednesday, Thursday, whenever the fuck the last game is for a week, let them go off. I will give y'all a mandatory bye week. The whole 30 teams will get a mandatory bye week. Go do your thing. You're off from this Thursday to next Thursday or whatever. Let them have a bye week. Let them chill. Get them out the competitive bubble for a moment. Come back and play the next 37 games, and y'all motherfuckers better be competitive. Because it doesn't make sense to have All Star Weekend anymore. Because dudes are just going there now and mailing it in. They don't want to be there. If you don't want to be there, why the fuck are we playing? Why are we having this game? Why? Just so motherfuckers could run up this election? LeBron James, congratulations. 20th consecutive selection into the All Star game. Congratulations. He played like 5 minutes. Why the fuck are you there? I'm starting to. If you want me to do logical, let's be logical with the NBA All Star game, right? Let's do this. Then. Let me play. Let me play devil's advocate. Devil's advocate, right? I think there needs to be a cap on All Star selections. Let's say 15, 16, 17, whatever. Whatever is the cap for you as a selection. I say 18. If you get to 18 select, because Kevin Durant has been to what, 16, 17, 18 All Star games, some shit like that now. Steph Curry, I think he said this is like his 15th. No, not 15th, but about like 10th selection that he's been in the All Star game. There's certain people that's been in the All Star game a little bit too much. I think if you get to 15 All Stars selections, I say 10, 10 All Star selections. Once you get to like 10, I'll say 15 if you're still in your your mid 20s. You know, I think the players that hit a 15 game selection, they shouldn't participate. I personally would say this is how I feel. I would personally say, all right, you got 15 selections. We're going to select you, but you do not have to come. We're going to select you, but you don't have to participate. We're going to give the actual playing time to an actual player that deserves it. Darren Fox, who's a part of the Kings. Darren Fox is having an amazing season. He didn't even get selected. But somebody like Steph Curry, who's been in there 10 years, and I love Steph. Steph is one of my favorite players. Been a Steph fan since he was at Davidson. But we know he's not gonna play. LeBron, 20 years, we know you're not playing. We know you're not gonna play the whole entire game. You gotta inject youth. We talk about it, but you gotta inject youth. Which brings me to these young motherfuckers. If y'all gonna get into these All Star games, like a Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, all of these young guys, if you're gonna get into the All Star game, you gotta bring back the physicality. You gotta bring back the intensity. You gotta bring back the defense. I get it. You watching, LeBron and them, and they're like, man, don't even take this shit so serious. It's just one game. We don't really give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's an All Star game. We don't really care. Like, I get it. But somebody got to be honest with themselves and tell the truth. And that is this. This is a young players, the Anthony Edwards, the Shai Gilgeous-Alexanders. It starts with you, with the creative, like pushing the narrative that this is aggression. We need actual aggression because as far as this All Star game shit goes, I'm getting to the point with it where it's just like, bro, you don't even need to play it. What the fuck are you playing it for? What's the point? 400 combined, 400 total fucking points. There is no need for an All Star game. I get it. For people that's gonna sit up here and say, man, they don't want to get hurt. When half of you motherfuckers low managed through most of the season, the other half barely wants to play. You don't play defense to begin with. Bitch, you better go out there and fucking play for these people. Are you fucking crazy? That shit's ridiculous. I don't want to hear that bullshit that they don't want to get hurt. Motherfucker, you can get hurt getting out your bed in the morning. What the fuck you talking about? That's the dumbest shit on the planet. But if you don't get hurt, get rid of the All Star game. Just take the bye, take your vacation, go be gone for a week, and just leave. Which is why I keep saying there's a bigger problem because this is the NBA. It's a bigger problem. The NBA is running into a massive problem. Which brings me to another thing. The face of the NBA. This whole week has been, is it LeBron? Who's going to be the face of the NBA after LeBron, after Kevin Durant, after Steph Curry leaves? Nobody wants to speak the truth, but let's be real. There is no face of the NBA after they leave. There will not be a face of the NBA after they leave. It just won't. I love Anthony Edwards. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a beast. If Zion is healthy, Zion is the man. Jason Tatum could definitely be the face of the NBA. Devin Booker, if he would have won one of those rings, would be in a conversation of definitely the face of the NBA. But like I said, it's a bigger problem right now in the NBA where it is a feeling that none of these dudes really want it. They don't want it. None of these dudes want it, man. Maybe Anthony Edwards, but I don't. Yeah, man. The face of the NBA is a hard thing to sell. Some don't have the right marketplace, which is true. Some don't have the personality, which is true. And some of them just you don't relate to. You just don't relate to them. You don't really know them. And that's what the NBA is running into a problem with because this season, it should be everybody's dream. Like, this is a good season. Boston is doing what they're doing in the East. New York is back. Cleveland is doing really well this year. And then if you look at the West, it's not LeBron. It's not Kevin Durant. It's not Steph Curry. It's Anthony Edwards. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's, you know, the defending champions, the Denver Nuggets. It's new breed. It's new blood at the top. And that's something that we should be pushing. But what the fuck do we push? What's wrong with Golden State? Will the Lakers turn it around? Can Phoenix Big Three work? You're not giving anybody new shit. You're not trying. Excuse me. You're not trying to push any new standard, any new technique, and it's this is the problem with the NBA. The NBA has become too dependent on LeBron, Steph, and KD to always drag them out the shit. And the problem with that is you haven't pushed anybody. And I get people that want to sit up here and say these players have to win. Totally 100% agree. But I need people to understand something. For the next 5 to 10 years, I don't think that an American born player, if not named Jason Tatum, is going to win an NBA championship. They will not be the franchise player on a NBA winning championship team. Joel Embiid is from Cameroon. Giannis is from Greece. The Joker, Luca. You gotta go through those. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander even. He's from Canada. Like, I don't think any American born player, franchise player, can actually win an NBA championship if they're not Jason Tatum. He's the only one with the team, the structure, and the actual identity to win a championship. Which brings me also to one thing. I think I said last week, that the Milwaukee Bucks is going to regret firing uh, uh, their old head coach Griffin for Doc Rivers. They're 3-7 in since Doc Rivers took over. So it's been an explosion in NBA talk about pretty much that Doc Rivers taking over the team and pretty much being bad. JJ Redick, former player of Doc Rivers, been with Doc Rivers from the Clippers to the Sixers. JJ Redick was on ESPN and was like, "Look, bro, I've seen this enough. I've seen this where nobody wants to give, where Doc doesn't take accountability. He throws the team under the bus. He always has these quotes where it's just like he's not trying to take um, pretty much not take the responsibility of you being the head coach." Austin Rivers, who is clearly Doc Rivers' son, was also who is now also employed by ESPN, was on ESPN today and was on ESPN today and was like, um, what are you talking about? My dad always takes the blame. He's the one that always gets fired for shit. When he was up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets, you know, um, who got fired? He had players that didn't even want to be in the bubble that quit on him. Last year, he got fired from Philly because he lost to a team that was better than his. Yeah, but dad always takes the blame. My dad always takes the blame. Let's get this out the way. Do I think Doc Rivers is a great head coach? No, I don't. I don't think he's a great head coach. I think he's good. I think I'm starting to believe in my heart of hearts that 2008 when he won with the NBA champ when he won with Boston is now becoming more of a they were just way hungrier and they wanted it more. Kevin Garnett at the time, who got traded that offseason to Boston, Ray Allen, who went from Milwaukee to Seattle, who a lot of people thought was kind of washed as he got to see it. Well, I won't say washed, but pretty much was, could have been a very viable piece for NBA championship. And then you had a young Rajon Rondo and a young Kendrick Perkins before anybody knew what they can really be. And the fact of the matter is, you won in 2008 with three players that literally wanted to win a championship and knew they needed to win a championship. And the fact of the matter is, you sat there, you literally took the credit for that team. And that is 100% commendable. You deserve the credit for that team. 100%. But now, every time we have this conversation about him, it's like, oh, he just needs to he's one of the best head coaches. It's like, bro, every time you've been in the playoffs, when you've been up 3-1, you have lost the fucking lead. And not just lost the lead, you lost the series, bro. Like, this ain't the first time, Austin, that your dad has fucked up a coaching situation. What happens what about the year when he got to the Clippers and the Clippers is up 3-1 over the Houston Rockets? And James Harden's sitting on the bench because Clippers up 20 some points. And they just let the fucking Rockets come back. By the way, James Harden was the only player on that team that actually was dominant. And you let Josh Smith bring the Houston Rockets back in that playoff series. And they won that series. Does Doc not get blamed for that? Because that is a 100% Doc Rivers situation. He fucked up. That was his problem. He fucked up that series. Okay, Austin, remember when your dad was the coach of the Orlando Magic and he was up 3-1? And he let the Boston Celtics come back and win that series? This isn't some shit that is just coming to fruition. This has been out there. Your dad don't know how to win shit. He don't know how to close shit. Again, if he doesn't have Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray fucking Allen, he never wins a ring because those three dudes were that hungry and they knew they could win a championship. And they wanted to win a championship. And after that, did they win another title? No, they did not. He handled the Ben Simmons situation better than I would have. But even in that sense, you didn't know the role for Ben Simmons? You didn't know how to play Ben Simmons? You know this motherfucker can't shoot free throws. You know he can't shoot free throws. You know he's not good at that shit. And you decided still to put him in the fourth quarter. When you know his confidence was shot and you still played him. I'm sorry, Austin. Your dad deserves all of the hits that he is taking right now. The fact that he now got this job in Milwaukee, and I've been very vocal and said Milwaukee's not winning a championship this year. I do not see it. They gotta. I've literally have said that Milwaukee should have traded Drew Holiday and they should have traded Chris Middleton. They should have traded both of these fucking asses. They need to get rid of both of them because neither one of them fit the team that you're now trying to create. Dame, like Dame, Giannis, you need perimeter spacing, also 3-point shooting and defense. But you also need somebody that's gonna actually be healthy. That's why I've always said, if I was them, I would have went and called OKC up and tried to get Dort, who can play defense, who can shoot threes. He isn't a big name player, but you don't need a big name 3-point shooter. You just need somebody that can play defense and shoot threes, which is kind of the problem with the Milwaukee Bucks right now. They can't fucking defend. And something else people don't want to admit, Doc Rivers sucks at defense. He's not good at it. He can't fucking do it. How the fuck did you have a Kawhi Leonard and a Paul George and you still couldn't defend? You made them look completely and utterly inept on defense. I ain't never seen that shit. Luka Doncic was cooking y'all ass for a good bit of, for a good 50 every time he played y'all. My problem with the NBA is a lot of fucking shit. I'm gonna cover it this year. Now that we're getting closer to the end. But there's a reason why I haven't talked about it. Because as much as I like what the direction of NBA is, the NBA media has kind of tanked the NBA with various debates on LeBron and Steph and KD. When you see these up and coming players like De'Aaron Foxes, Tyrese Halliburtons, the Shai Gilgeous-Alexanders, the Anthony Edwards, the first thing you do to pretty much shit on them is they gotta win a ring. You never said that about LeBron when LeBron was in Cleveland and winning and getting to the playoffs. You never said that shit about LeBron. And I'm not saying that they didn't say that shit about LeBron in the sense of like he wasn't the face of the league or he wasn't one of the best players in the league. They only talked about the ring with LeBron when it came to the conversation of Michael Jordan. Nobody ever sat there and said LeBron James wasn't the face of the league, even when he was with Cleveland, and the motherfucker literally had uh, 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 construction workers on his goddamn team, fucking burger flippers as his starting four, his starting five. It was LeBron and some dudes from the track that they saw in Cleveland. Like, hey, y'all want to play with LeBron tonight? All right, cool. Get in the game and play with LeBron. He gonna do all the work. All you gotta do is just stand there. We act like that didn't happen. We knew LeBron was the face of the league. The motherfucker won EVPs, even when he wasn't. Like, come on, bro. Like, he was the face of the league. People never said that. The only time we talked about when LeBron needed to win rings is when it came to the Michael Jordan debate. LeBron, you gotta win a ring. If you want to be called the greatest of all time, you gotta win a ring. And then when he started winning rings, people still wanted. I'm just saying, like it. We sit here and we act like these young kids, just because they're not winning a ring, can't be the face of the league. And I get it. You probably aren't interested in watching OKC. You're probably not excuse me. You're maybe not interested in watching Minnesota. You're not interested in watching Sacramento. Cool. But the beautiful thing about when I was growing up, and I still to this day will say, the beautiful thing about me growing up, Tim Duncan was in San Antonio. Kevin Garnett was in Minnesota. Kobe was in LA, but you had various other situations. Chris Webber, Mike Bibby, Peja Stojakovic was in Sacramento. You had you had Utah. You had all of these various different teams in the West, and I'm not even talking about the East. where you had Tracy McGrady in Orlando, you had Paul Pierce in Boston, you had Jason Kidd with the Nets. You had so many great teams because they actually didn't have to fucking fall into this bullshit trap that the media falls into, where you have to be a superstar, a transitional superstar. People gotta know who you are. It's like, no, let the NBA players become organically the best players in the league, which they are. Say Gilgeous-Alexander is a beast. If you saw him in the playoffs last year, you knew he could play. Anthony Edwards has been that dude since his rookie year. This ain't nothing new. I saw that shit when he got in the playoffs and he started playing Ja Morant. Dude was cooking Ja. Like what are you talking about? Like Darren Fox is finally becoming that guy. Like I feel like just it's stupid for people to sit here and debate this. You want to fix the NBA? Y'all want to fix the NBA? Okay, I help you fix the NBA. It's very simple how you fix the NBA. Stop making everything about a fucking individual player. And we need to start making the NBA about these teams. There's never going to be another LeBron. There's never going to be another Steph. There's never going to be another Kevin Durant. But we start focusing on the teams and not the players, which is fucking hard to do nowadays. Once we get back to this team has Kobe, this team has Tim Duncan, this team has Chris Webber, this team has Kevin Garnett, this team has Paul Pierce, this team has Tracy McGrady, this team has. Once we get back to, yes, we know the player, but we're focusing on a team. Once we get back to that, we are going, man, we're going to be back in the NBA because we keep running into the problem of who's the face, who's the face, who's the face. You can't pick a face because there is no face. There isn't. A lot of these teams are getting picked by these bullshit franchises. Like there is no true face. Whereas for and how do you fix the actual gameplay? Stop trying to make the whole entire league about the playoffs. You've shown people all the fuck the fans care about. Well, not the fans, but the media cares about is who's going to be in the play-in, who's going to win in the, who's going to get in the playoffs, who is the team to beat in the playoffs. That's all you care about. So when you sit there and ask the question of, yo, why is the NBA not so marketable right now, or why people aren't really watching the NBA right now? Because you already told us you're college basketball. We only get excited for you in April. We're only going to get excited for you in April. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm looking forward to these next couple games, to be honest with you. But how do you fix the NBA? You can't fix what you've already broken. You've tried to market it so many different ways, and so many different ways it's failed. The simplest part of this is very simple. Make the fucking regular season count. Get rid of the end season bullshit, because nobody cares about the end season playoffs. Get rid of it. It's stupid. Get rid of it. What you need to do is find teams that like to do load management. You got to start finding teams that all they want to do is load management. Because y'all have made this shit a part of the game. And I'm sorry. If I know Joel Embiid's not playing because he's sitting on the bench and he's not really hurt, but he's just sitting on the bench tonight because he felt a little tightness in his back, I'm not watching that shit. Or LeBron James, he doesn't want to play because he's rested. I get it. You're 39 years old, so I get it. But Anthony Davis, old brittle ass, you're 30. Get your ass out there and play, bro. Kevin Durant, I get that you've had injuries, but get your ass out there and play. You shouldn't be resting at all, nigga. The fuck are you resting for? What are you doing? Y'all have made the NBA this this soft ass league. That's why the All Star game sucks. Because the NBA sucks. It's only a mirror of what the. It's only the reflection of what the entire league is, which is no defense, and your star players have more control over what the fuck really happens than anything. So load manage that whole week, and everybody go to fuck home. Cause this shit is stupid. Anyway, I just want to get that off my chest when it comes to that, because I am absolutely tired of. I've saw this all fucking week. What is wrong with the NBA? What is wrong with the NBA? They need to get rid of the All Star game. This All Star game suck. Every fucking year we have the same conversation about the All Star game. Nobody wants to be honest and say the truth. The reflection of the NBA is very simple. The reflection of the NBA is the All Star game. Too many stars that don't really want to play. They just want to fuck around. They don't really want to put in that much aggression if it's nothing serious on the line. If that is the case, why the fuck do we even have the NBA season? Let's just skip to the fucking finals. I don't know, man. But anyway, that is I believe sports. I'll talk to you guys soon. I am Brandon Janeau. Peace.